Hey guys, we're going to start this episode off with a time lapse of a resource gathering session that I do. Before this episode, I filmed this way earlier in the day than I actually filmed the episode, and I wanted to get some resources prepared for a couple of projects that I wanted to do, and so I decided I would do a quick hour-long mining session and that I would show its entirety in super fast mode. So yeah, um, I wanted to kind of talk about a little bit about what is the future of this Minecraft series, because I know whenever I said I started it, and I talk about this a little bit in the episode too, that I didn't know what I was gonna do. Like I literally just started the world and said, all right, I'm going to do this slowly and ease my way into it. And I definitely like this idea that the builds that I'm gonna do should have a purpose, and I think I talk about this in the episode too. So you might be hearing this twice, but like, I definitely think that I want everything I build to have a purpose. I don't just want shells of buildings just to take up space. And whatever form that takes, I'm game. Um, but I kind of have an inspiration from, and I've mentioned him before in the first episode, from Wells Knight. Um, and I think even in my original Minecraft series, I had this plan where I was kind of like doing like what he's doing. He has his kingdom series where he builds um, different kingdoms, and then like he builds these massive builds. But a lot of his buildings end up being shells, and as cool as his builds are, I kind of feel like they're not complete without interiors and a purpose. Like again, I don't want to build anything that doesn't have a purpose. Like if I'm gonna build a house, it's gonna be a house. It's gonna be something that if someone were to jump on my file, they could be like, okay, this is my house now. And if it's really like loud, like in the background of my voice, I'm sorry. It's storming here really bad, and it's obnoxious. But anyway, so and right here you can see I find a mob spawner, which I've neglected to tell you in the episode. I find a zombie spawner, and yeah, so we will have a source of an XP farm later whenever I get to building that. But I'm getting sidetracked. So uh, the way Wells did it is he did it in this way where, like, hey, I'm going to have like his first season was like what he called the old world, and then he had the new world in that he's doing currently now, which he hasn't posted a Kingdoms series in a while. I think he's been doing like Pixelmon or something like that. I don't know, but like my goal, all right, I'm gonna kind of take what he did and do it in my own way. Like he had different seasons of. That was a wife distraction, by the way. That pause. I paused a couple times in here because my wife or my son or somebody was walking in front of me because they're actually awake and here whenever I was doing this session. So anyway, they he did like he did his first season was like this old world. He built all this really cool stuff, and then like the new world is the current season he's working on, and I think I would do a little bit differently. I think the way I'm going to do it is mine is going to be season based, so there is going to be like a season one, two, three, four of this series probably eventually, and I might change the names of the episodes accordingly once they come out, like on YouTube, not necessarily because I can't do it in the video, but I might do it on YouTube accordingly once it gets that far. But I think like my plan is I'm gonna do it similar, where every new season's going to be something different. But the way he does it is like he does a bunch of different kingdoms each season. All of my seasons are going to be focused on one kingdom. So, like, you know, so to speak, or one town, or however I'm going to do it, one area. And then, when he goes to his second season, what he does is he'll start a whole new, um, he'll, like, fly so many blocks out, and he'll start from scratch with nothing. And I actually really like that. I don't know if I'll start completely with nothing, just because it's a huge, um, it's a huge time, it's a lot of time to, you know, play Minecraft for with all these crappy tools that I'm still currently using in my playthrough. But like, I don't know if I'll throw all my tools away, but I definitely will get new resources and stuff like that. And but of course, the PS4 world isn't as big as a PC world either, so I'm not quite sure to what extent of like resource reset I'll do. But um, I definitely think that I'm going to focus one season on one town or village or kingdom or however it's going to be called or whatever we're going to call it, like as far as what each place is going to be. And so some seasons might be 1 2 months, another season might take a whole year depending on how big the build is and how big the area is. My ultimate goal, and I say ultimate goal with me stressing the fact that not all goals are meant to be reached. Some are just meant to be like an end point, like a point where you say like, I think that's obtainable. And like, if you don't accomplish every goal you ever have, that's fine. Like, that's something that people need to realize when they set a goal. And I realize that going into this as well, that not all goals are going to be realized. So this might not be realized, but my end goal, my what I would like to do in this series is eventually have it, because on PS4 there's only so many maps you can have that like, it's not endless like it is in PC. Like, the world does end. I want to cover the map in builds made by me. I want to have paths between all these different sounds, and my cat is being obnoxious. All these between different towns and kingdoms and whatever, what have you. I want it all to be interconnected, and I want to be able to sit there and walk through this place and just be like, wow, I built all of this. And then if it ever comes to that point, which won't be for a long time, we'll start anew. Or we'll do something there. We'll figure that out then. But until then, this timeline's just about over, guys, and we will see you in the actual video. Enjoy, guys. Well, that was fun. Alright, guys, here's what we got on that resource gathering session. We got this book. I don't know if you noticed I found a mob farm, but I got this book. But this book is terrible, but it was included in the loot, so I wanted to show it to you before I unceremoniously dump it off in the random direction. So we are going to throw this book away because it's worthless. Alright. For those of you who didn't see, it was a Curse of Binding only. Like, that was the only enchantment on it, and the Curse of Binding is really kind of useless to me, so if I was going to troll somebody, it would be more useful. But we got a few things here that are interesting. We got some diamond horse armor, which is kind of cool. We got quite a bit of... We found a abandoned mine. English is hard. Abandoned mine in there. We found a couple stacks of iron. I actually already smelted one of them, or a part of a stack of iron, because I needed the iron pickaxe to get stuff like redstone and emerald, which we found down there, and a bunch of other stuff. We got some gold. So, with that being said, there's a few things I want to do in this episode. I'm not sure we're going to get to all of them, but I'm going to try. So, first thing I want to do, which I think is probably the most important thing to start right now, since we have a water bucket, which we also found in one of the things, one of the chests in the mob spawner, is we need to start a starter farm. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to do one of the more efficiency-based farms first. It's not really going to be an efficiency-based farm. I wouldn't even go that far. It's just going to be something that's not really meant for the looks as of yet. So we're going to start, and we're going to do something simple like that. And then I need a hoe, which 2 cobblestone and I believe 2 sticks is a hoe. And then we're gonna go sleep because it's starting to get nighttime already. So let's go sleep. Maybe. Game. There. Now I should be able to sleep. There we go. And the reason that I want to do a farm now is because we are going to need food in the near future. And I want to make sure that we actually have a steady steady flow of food. And the way to do that is going to be to essentially we are going to need wheat for bread, and we are going to need wheat for bringing sheep and cows into what will be an eventual farm as well. So I've been thinking a lot about what I want this to be, because I know in the first episode I talked a little bit about what I wanted this, how I had no real plans for this. I was just kind of winging it. And that was completely true. I was more or less just winging it. But I think I want to start with just kind of building things as I feel like building them. And that probably doesn't really make much sense right now. But, I mean, it will as the series progresses. I think what I want to do is, as an example, like this house that we built, I thought of what would a purpose for this house be? What do I need this house to be right now? And really the initial thing I need this house to be, sploosh, is I need it to be a farmhouse because I need food and I need some of the resources that you would get out of a farmhouse. So like sheep's wool and cow leather and meat and just, all that stuff. So for right now, this is going to be a farmhouse. And since we got a little farm done already, we need to wait for the meat why am I blanking on the word? For the wheat to grow. Wheat? Yeah, wheat. I don't know. Yeah, the wheat. That's what that is. That's wheat. If you guys can't tell, I'm actually sick right now, so my brain's not working properly. I actually have like a migraine. But I really wanted to film this episode and do commentary for the next Spider-Man episode, which is going to come out before this episode, but I'm filming this episode before doing commentary for the Spider-Man episode, only because I'm feeling really inspired in Minecraft right now, and I want to make sure that I get all my inspiration out. And who knows, I may end up turning this into 2 episodes, because there's some stuff I need to do right now in Minecraft to get it off my mind. So that's what we're gonna do. So the next thing, the farm was pretty quick. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to I was going to say put windows on the house, but that's actually not the next thing I want to do. Although this is something I want to do relatively soon, probably in this episode. But the next thing I actually really want to do is I want to... Oh yeah, I also got 2 chests from... Like, these chests I didn't make. These came from the mining session. So, anyway. The next thing I want to do, for real, is I want to... That should be more than enough. Actually, I might already have enough. Let's see. Nope, not even close. Alright, so... let's see. Let's try that. That should be good. Okay. So I actually want to... if you watched the first episode, you know that I realized that the top level of this house would be actually pretty, That noise is weird. Some of the noises in Minecraft just really freaking creep me out. I'm sure that's probably the point, but anyway, I don't know if this is where I want to put the ladder quite yet or not, but that's where we're going to put it for right now. So I want to decorate up here, because I actually have an idea for what I want to do in here, and what I want to use this for. So with that said, we need a way to get up here, and I think that's going to be pretty good. So yeah, let me get some resources together, and I'll be right back with you guys in just a second. Alright guys, we're back. I got a few resources here, and I think, like I said, I know kind of what I'm going to do. So, the first thing I'm going to do is fill in these spots, which I went and got some more birch because I wasn't sure I was going to be able to fill all that in, and my cats are fighting. Anyway, the glories of being a late night YouTuber and having to do it in a communal family area. Alright, so this should, and I'll tell you more what there's going to be later once we actually get to that point. So we're going to fill this in with yeah, with birch, because I think that will look best. The only thing I'm not entirely sold on is down here. Like, I'm thinking maybe we use spruce for that, but I'm not really going to have enough spruce. But let me see something here. If we put spruce along this, and then stripped it, I think that matches the wall pretty okay. But I'm not entirely convinced that's what I want there. I know I'm not going to have enough birch. So if we did use birch, I would have to go get more. Let's try dark oak. Let's see how dark oak looks. Because dark oak would match the floor a lot better. See, I'm not really liking that either. Alright, let's try regular oak. Okay, that I actually really like. Yeah, we're gonna do regular oak. And I think that fills this room out nicely. But the next thing we're gonna do is actually go back and get those ladders. I knew it was nighttime because I could hear a witch laughing outside. That's not gonna make her despawn. There she is. This could end badly for me. Oh. Didn't end as badly as I thought it was going to. Oh, there's also some skeletons, and there's a creeper. Oh boy. Alright, let's go deal with the skeleton first. Because he's wearing a helmet, therefore he was not going to burn in the sun. Where'd that creeper go? There he is. Okay. Creeper is gone. There's also a spider up here. Just going to generally start taking care of some mobs that are spawned while I was working on the house. Well, the spider's hostile to me right now anyway, but the string would be nice to have. I hear another spider too. Where is he? Oh, there's more skeletons stuff. Okay, cool. So, anyway, now that we've done that, let's go back over here and let's grab those ladders. Let's also throw any of this back in here that would fit back in there. We have a bow now too, so that's kind of nice. I'm gonna actually take the arrows out in case I need to use the bow, which I typically put back here. Like I said, I have a pretty regularly organized system for how my inventory looks. That way it's always the same, and I know where everything's supposed to be. Throw those seeds out, we don't need those. Alright, so I'm going to grab those ladders. I'll need one of them though. And then we're going to turn well, we need ladders, so, or not ladders, chests. So we are going to turn this into a bunch of planks, and then we're going to turn those into a bunch of chests and see how many chests that gives us. Quite a few. Okay, it looks like we're almost ready for our first harvest on that too, so that's pretty nice. So, alright, now we're going to go back up here. And for the sake of the fact that I want this to come one higher just for yeah, it'd make it easier to get up and down that way. So, with that said, I think I want this room, if you haven't figured this out already, to be a storage room. So we are going to do something like that. And then we have some space for... You kind of get the idea. So like an attic storage area, more or less. And actually, now that I'm looking at this, because that middle right there is going to mess with my OCD, why don't we line these like that? This would kind of be like our initial kind of starting area, or our initial kind of storage area for this place. And then having this 3-wide kind of walkway, I think, will work better, especially because that allows me to actually use this particular area as windows, which is something that I want to do. So we're going to put windows in the house as well. And I'm going to mark them out now so that I don't forget to do them later. And they're pretty much going to go in the same spot in every room, because eventually this house is going to be a bunch of rooms and not just Oops. That was not intentional. It's gonna be more than just, you know, hey. Actually, no, let's pull this out while we're thinking about it. That way I can immediately replan it so we can start. Having some backstock of wheat for bread until I decide to build the stables for, not stables, but the pens for the animals, so. Yeah. We don't really need all these. Okay. So now you can kind of see where the windows are going to go. And actually, I think I want these to come down one more. And here on the back side, like right there, and possibly right here. And you'll see what I'm going for here in a minute. Yeah, okay. So this will probably be the last thing I do this episode. And then I'm going to film another one because I still have some stuff I want to do on this file before I switch over and start commentating some Spider-Man. So, with that being said, let's get a stack of planks and turn those into stairs. And let's see how oak stairs look for what I want to do for over here. Because I don't want to be too much of a contrast with okay, let's try birch stairs. I'm not entirely sold on that. I think birch stairs might actually look better. And considering I already have some birch on me, let's just see. Let's see what I think of birch stairs. Yeah, I like that better. I definitely like that better. So now we're gonna kinda and you know, I said this before, but I get a lot of my inspiration from guys like Wells Knight especially, probably more than anybody else. So some of what I'm doing might look familiar to you if you've seen Wells Knight do builds before. Granted, I'm not directly ripping him off, but so to speak. But I am more or less like I like the way I like his build style. So you're gonna see a lot of what he does and a lot of what I do, because like I said, I like the way he builds, and so I get a lot of inspiration from the way that he builds. And yeah, so I also gotta do the top floor too, so I'm gonna need some more stairs. Alright, so let me just do something like this, so I can plant that. Oop. And that, there we go. On the plus side, now I should be able to sleep whenever I fall. There we go. sleep. So this episode might have been a little bit longer too, but I definitely am as soon as I'm done working on the house and showing you guys kind of what I'm doing. Holy crap. We gotta go take care of that problem. Because that is a pretty big problem. Pick this up, please. Thank you. Alright, where is he? Because he was just... I saw him. There he is. He's in my garden. Come here. Hoo 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 hoo. Alright, now that my heart's out of my throat. I didn't really want to rebuild like any of that. That would have been pretty awful. Okay. And this one I should be able to get pretty simple just from being down here. Planet right there. And then take this one out. Turn my way back up again. Stairs. And then just drop back down. Alright, so that's gonna be good once it's done. And then I'm gonna kind of start something new for this series. And we'll talk about that here in a minute. It's a little bit more of a interaction with you guys kind of thing. So I'm gonna go get some sand for some glass, smelt it up, and then get ready to start putting it on the house. And I'll put it on the house during the end of the episode, and we'll talk a little bit about what I want to add to the show, so to speak, before we get out of here. So I'll be right back, guys. Alright guys, I'm back. While I was waiting for the glass to cook, I took the chests and moved them in there and took everything out of the chests and organized it. These two things stayed out here, and there's a reason for that, and we'll get into that next episode. But, so I was talking about before I cut away, is there is an idea that I have for this series that I would like to kind of do moving forward, and that is, oh, I don't have Silk Touch. The idea is that we are going to do a question of the day for you guys, not necessarily for me. Although I will answer the questions too. And sometimes I'll pull the questions of the day from the comments, so if you guys have a question you want me to ask or you want me to answer, put it in the comments, and I'll pick one and we'll go from there. Or sometimes I'll come up with a question myself just to ask you guys, but I'll most likely still answer it. So the first comment question of the day is going to be, where do you guys get your inspiration from? Whether it be here in Minecraft or in whatever you do, whether you're a writer or you like to, I don't know, like, you know, you're a big wrestling fan, you like the wrestling games like I do, you know, you obviously make characters in those games. Like, where do you get your inspiration from? And it's always a good question to ask yourself too, because I've struggled with creativity in recent times, and I've, what inspires me? And I really thought about that question, like, what inspires me to do whatever it is, and it could really be anything, and that's kind of the beauty of this question, is it's really, it's based on you. It's not based on, an opinion or fact or anything like that. It's literally just based on you. it's a person by person thing. Like, for example, my inspiration typically comes from music, is a big one. I get a lot of inspiration from music. I know a lot of people get inspirations from music. Um, or you have something like um, a TV show, or maybe a loved one inspires you. Like, I know my wife inspires me to get out of bed every day, kind of, sort of. Like, that kind of, sort of, she does. Like, that's a legitimate thing she actually does. But, like, where do you get it? And I think it helps us to kind of understand ourselves a little bit better, too, which is what I'm getting at. Like, if you know what inspires you, you know how to become inspired when you need inspiration. You know what to turn to. And so it's good for people who are creative, but maybe creatively stifled for whatever reason, whether they're having writer's block or creator's block or whatever, what have you. It might be good for them to sit back and think about, all right, I've lost inspiration, and what do I need to do to be inspired? So, like, for example, this build, I didn't really, like, I had this series planned before I started this, but this whole build, I was inspired by seeing another YouTuber do a similar build. So, yeah. Alright, guys. That's all the time we got. I'm going to film another episode right now because I want to. But, yeah. Until then, we'll see you in the next episode, whether it be this or Spider-Man or whatever you turn into. So, see you later, guys.